All right, let's talk about some useful settings in Pro Tools. All right, so for this video, I've just picked a few settings in Pro Tools. They're in various locations. There's no theme there, but they're just a few settings in Pro Tools that I have found useful over the years, or my students have found useful over the years. They're just settings that I think it's worth knowing about, knowing that they exist, whether you use them or not. So let's talk about the first one. The first one has to do with these zoom numbers. So this whole section here, these are all zoom presets, right? So you can zoom, you can do command brackets or control brackets if you're on Windows. You can do R and T to zoom as long as you have this A to Z lit up, right? And your keyboard commands focus mode is on. There's various ways that we zoom around in Pro Tools, travel around Pro Tools. I tend to not use these zoom numbers. These are just presets for different zoom settings. So if I click on them, you'll see that it puts me in different zoom settings. So it's zooming in to a different position, a different amount. It's bringing you to a different zoom setting. You can also hit the 1 through 5 on your keyboard to get to those settings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It's bringing me to different zoom settings there. So I tend to not use these so much. I tend to just use R and T, and I will click around to travel wherever I want to go. Or I'll use Tab to jump to the beginning of a clip, or travel through clips to find my way to wherever I want to be. I'll also use the fact that if you click on a clip with the grabber tool and zoom in, it'll bring you to the beginning of the clip. If you then scroll so you can't see the beginning of the clip, it'll bring you to the end, right? So I tend to do that kind of thing instead. So what I wanted to show you today is that if you're like me and you're not really using these, there is a different option here for these. So if you go to setup and then preferences, you can look here where it says 1 to 5 number keys control. And right now it's on zoom presets. I believe that's the default, but you can switch it to clip effects presets. So if you're into using clip effects and you're not into using the zoom presets, now 1 through 5 will affect the clip effects. So I have a clip highlighted here. If I click down here to open up the clip effects window, I guess is what we would call it, you can see the different clip effects here. I can turn things on, I can turn them off, I can work with them. I'm not going to make a video about using clip effects right now, but it's good to know that you also have presets 1 through 5 here. And so this will be different presets for clip effects. So one handy thing that you might use all the time is, for example, you might have a high pass filter that you put on things very, very frequently. So you might want to make a preset that involves that high pass filter, maybe some compression, it's whatever you tend to use. So you can set these presets, you can make these presets, and basically these presets, they look very similar to these, right? But they are different. So basically what we've made it do by changing that setting in the preferences window here is we've made it so that if you hit the buttons, the 1 through 5 keys on your keyboard, it now affects these 5 instead of these 5. So you'll notice my zoom presets still work as zoom presets up here. My clip presets still work as clip presets. But if I hit 1 through 5 now, it's going to toggle between the clip presets instead of the zoom presets like it did a moment ago. So some people might find that helpful. That's why I wanted to share it today. So I'm just going to close this. And another thing that you might find helpful is the idea of linking your timeline and edit selection. So this is more of a basic concept in Pro Tools, but I did have a student recently who was having trouble with this. So I wanted to point this out. So in Pro Tools, we have our edit selection, which is where our cursor is down here, anywhere within this part of the window, right? It's where you actually navigate around with your clips and your different audio files, MIDI files, stuff like that. And then we also have the timeline selection, which is up here. So if you see these little blue, I guess they're arrows, and if you click around in the timeline to different locations in the timeline, that's where your timeline selection is. So you can make a timeline selection here. You can make an edit selection here. Right now I have them linked. That's how I like to have things. But what you can do is if you go to options here, you can go to link timeline and edit selection, and you can deselect this. So I'm going to deselect it here and kind of show you how it works. So now instead of these two things being linked, I can click around here and have a different edit selection, and you'll notice that my timeline selection is remaining the same. So when I hit play, it's going to start at the beginning of the timeline. It's a ton of audio there that I just had. So you'll notice that your playback starts up there, whereas whatever you're working on is down here. So if you want to have your playback separate from what you're working on, you might want to deselect it. But I've found that most people that I know, and myself included, prefer to have them linked. So I we'll put this back on here because I definitely prefer it that way. Then I don't have to think about what the two different things are. You know, I can just start playback wherever I want to start playback. I don't have to worry about it. I have seen this trip up beginners on Pro Tools a ton. So if you're not aware of that setting, go take a look and see what yours is on. Now, the next thing is kind of similar. It's the idea of having insertion follows playback on or off. So I like insertion follows playback on. And basically the idea here, it's kind of like a weird way for them to word it. But the idea is, I don't think I have much audio here, if any. So I'm going to hit play here so I can talk over it. But the idea is, if you hit play, where do you want the cursor to land when you pause? That's what this feature is asking, right? So if I hit play and then I often hear something that I want to change or whatever, I'll then hit pause and I want the cursor to go where I was so I can see and easily find that spot. I can more easily then go, wow, I can't speak. I can more easily then go and target that location and change whatever the thing was that I heard. So that's why I like having it on. But if I turn this off, and I hit play, you'll notice that when I hit pause, it's going to go back to where it started. So it's just a preference thing. It's whatever you prefer. I personally prefer to have it on. So that's another one that's good to know about. Can save you some time, right? Depending on how you like to work and what type of stuff you tend to be working on. Okay, so the next one, I actually have a track prepared here. So I have this track prepared. I have an input going. I actually have this, this is my talkback mic, actually. So I have this prepared. It's going into this track here. And so the thing I wanted to show you has to do with low latency monitoring. So if I record enable this track, I'm going to leave it unmuted so I can hear it. Now you can hear me with a delay. Ooh, I hate it. I can't handle it. Okay, so we have that going. If we then go and turn on low latency monitoring, I have it set right now so that when I turn this on, you see the signal, but you're not going to hear it. So I don't have to worry about that delay, that latency, right? That echo. So when you have this on, sometimes you have this setting on and you like this setting and you prefer it this way so you don't have to hear that echo or what have you, right? Don't have to hear that latency. So sometimes you'll have this setting on, but it would just be a little bit better if you could also have the send to the reverb active, right? Because then, for example, the singer might want to hear a little bit of reverb while they perform. It helps them improve their performance. And so what you can do is you can go to setup and then preferences here. And then what you want to do is go to the mixing tab, and it's somewhere in here. Let me find it. Yeah, so it's right here. Allow sends to persist during LLM. So that's low latency monitoring. So if I turn that on, I'm going to hit OK, and we're going to hear the reverb. So check, check. So now there's reverb going through, right? And I can click here so it gets bigger because I have automation there. Oof, that's wild. Anyway, so that's something you can do so they can hear their reverb. Obviously, you would want to sculpt the reverb and have it sound good for what they're doing. But that is a setting that is very handy while tracking if you want some of that, like, you know, the confidence boost that comes with the reverb. Okay, so now the last one that I wanted to show you, I actually showed you this shortcut a while back in one of my recent videos. If you haven't seen it, I guess I can try to find a card and put it up on the screen for that video. But it's the idea that you can adjust your clip gain, which is this little fader here, right? You can adjust the levels, and this is all before it goes through your plugins and everything else. So it's at a different stage than your volume automation, right? So sometimes we want to adjust the clip gain, and sometimes we want to adjust the clip gain for a bunch of clips, for example. So I'll highlight 2 here. What you can do is you can do Control, Shift, and this is on a Mac, so up and down arrow to adjust. So see, it's doing it by 0.5. Each time I hit the up arrow here, it's adjusting it by 0.5. Each time I hit the down arrow, it's bringing it down by 0.5. So that's one way you can really quickly adjust the clip gain for a bunch of clips at once. I use that pretty frequently. I find it to be pretty useful. But what you might find is, like, I don't really like that 0.5 value. I want a different value. So what you can do is go Setup, Preferences, and I believe it's back in the Editing tab. Yeah, clip gain nudge value. So that's what that is the nudge value for your clip gain. So right now it's 0.5. So if I wanted to make it 3.5, for example, oh, it went to 3. We'll do 3. 3 is a good number. So if I want to have it be 3, I now do Control Shift and I hit the up arrow and it's moving up by 3 at a time. So if you tend to want to make bigger moves, you can adjust it that way. If you want to make it more precise, you can adjust it that way as well. I kind of like it at 0.5. I tend to prefer that. So I'm going to put it back to 0.5. That's fine. I'm trying to make it 0.5 Pro Tools. Okay. So that's that. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you find these useful in the comments below. If you want to add anything to this list, I would love to hear it in the comments below. I'm always looking to improve. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/CatoNoise. I have some additional content on the Patreon. We have a Discord server we're all hanging out on. That's been my big focus lately. We're running a little book club on there. It's a lot of fun. So please feel free to join us if you feel so inclined. And other than that, I come out with new videos every Wednesday, and thank you so much for hanging out. Okay. I don't know what to say. Everything's fine. Everything's good lately. It was literally 104 degrees according to my phone here the other day. And then according to my car, it was hotter. So it's been really hot here lately, and I don't have the AC running right now because I wanted to have everything be quiet and better. And I thought about running isotope through things and just leaving the AC on, but then I decided to turn it off because it felt fine in here. But yeah, it's been getting so hot lately. I have this little window AC unit here in the studio, and usually it's fine. But if it gets really, really hot, like if it gets to be 90 degrees or more outside, it's like the little window AC cannot keep up. So I actually have someone coming to give me a quote to have like a split unit installed, maybe like on the wall back there. So I'm hoping that'll improve things and make the AC just a little bit better. Because it's been rough. It's been a rough end of the summer. Okay, I hope you're doing well. I'll talk to you later.